Okay, good. So I'm going to walk you through the process of constructing a kite. And I'm going to work with a 4-sided kite. If you want a challenge, you can work with an 8-sided kite. So step 1 says, on a separate piece of paper, draw an outline of a kite with 4 to 8 sides that has at least one of the following. One of the sides needs to be 6 centimeters, a side needs to be 5 centimeters long, and then an angle of 60 degrees or 120, and a right angle and a straight angle. Now, I have not shown you how to use a compass. So this might be challenging. You could do it using trial and error. And so I'm going to say for now, don't worry about this piece at this point in time. If you want to challenge yourself and you know how to construct a 60-degree angle with a compass, that will be fine. So don't worry about this piece. So I'm going to show you how to start. And it doesn't matter the type of paper you use. It could be lined paper, or in this case, I'm using blank paper. And I'm just going to construct a line and or a line segment, and I'm going to just construct, it doesn't matter the length of the line segment. So I've constructed a line segment. You can, if you want, make it this long. My line segment is about 15 centimeters, roughly, a little shorter than that. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use a protractor to make a perpendicular line. So I'm going to just put a point, I'm going to put it somewhere, not necessarily in the middle, I don't know where the middle is, but just anywhere on the line. So I put a point there, and I'm going to use my protractor to construct a perpendicular line, and the line will cut through this horizontal line. So I've lined up the whole of my protractor, and I've made sure that my 0 line is lined up with that line. And so I'm just going to count from 0. I'm going to start here. I could start here as well, but I'm going to start here. And because I'm starting here, I'm going to use the internal marks. If I were starting to count from this side, I would use the external marks. We always count from 0 up. So 90 degrees is here, so counting up. And I'm just going to make a tick here. And so that is one way. There are other ways to make that 90 degrees, but for now, we're just going to use a protractor. And I'm going to line things up, and that's important that you line things up. And there you go, I've lined things up. So I've constructed all right, so the line that I've constructed is a perpendicular line. And you can see that right off the bat, I fulfilled 2 of the criteria. Criteria. So I've got a right angle, and this is going to be my right angle. A right angle is 90 degrees. I have a straight angle. This is probably going to be one of my straight angles, as well as this can be one of the straight angles as well. And now what I want to do now is I'm going to construct one of the sides to be 6 centimeters long. I'm going to start with that. You can start with 5. And so again, I'm going to construct a 4-sided kite. And I'm going to make the first side 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line things up here so that starting from here, I'm going to move my ruler until it touches the line at about 5. And I think that would work. So from here to here. So already I fulfilled one of the criteria, which is a side that is 5 centimeters. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to label that side as 5 centimeters. And what I know from a kite is that what I've done so far is I've constructed this piece, and I'm going to label this. I'm going to label this. I can label it any letter I want. I'm going to call it F. Okay. On my kite, I'm going to call it F, and I'm going to call this point here G. So there you have one side of my kite. What I know is, of course, is that the angle, so on this side, this angle must equal this angle. So I'm going to measure what this angle, sorry about that, I'm going to measure what this angle is. So I know that this part, this angle on my kite should equal the angle here. And I have a couple of options that I can do. I'm going to just measure this angle first. So I'm going to, again, use my protractor, and I'm going to put the whole of the protractor over point G. I'm going to line up my 0 line with this perpendicular line. And what I notice is that the angle is 31. So going from 0, 10, 20, 30, it's 31 degrees. So this angle, and I'm going to label here, is 31 degrees. So this angle needs to be 31 degrees as well. And I have a couple of things that I can do. Because this line I want it to be a bisector. This side must equal this side. I'm going to just measure the length of this side. And the length of this side, and again, I'm starting from 0, the edge of the ruler, is 2 6/10, or some of you would say 2.6, but 2 6/10 of a centimeter. So I'm going to make sure that this side is the same. And so 2 will be somewhere here, 2 6/10 will be somewhere here. Now what I could do is simply join those 2 points, and I'm just going to do it roughly. I could join those 2 points, and this angle now should be the same as this angle. I'm going to just measure to make sure, and you can see here how the idea here that from here to here is also 5 centimeters. Okay, I'm just going to label it that. I'm going to just measure to make sure that this angle is also 31, and let's see if that works out. I put that there, and I'm going to just line things up. Going from 0, going up 10, 20, 30, you can see that it is 31. So all I had to do was I constructed a horizontal line. I took a point in that horizontal line. I used my protractor to construct a 90 degree, or to construct a perpendicular line. And so I drew the perpendicular line. And then what I did was I simply used my ruler to construct the side that is 5 centimeters. Okay, so this is also 31 degrees, and in total you can see that this is 62. So I'm pretty close to this idea of it being 60 degrees, but again, we don't have to worry about fulfilling this criteria. All right, so let me just fill in this piece here. So now this side, and I'm going to line things up, is my other side, and I'm going to call this point H. Okay. So I've got a right angle. I have a straight angle. If I call this I have my straight angle, FIE. A straight angle is 180 degrees. So I've got my straight angle. I have my right angle. I have my 5. I have that. Now I'm going to construct this side of my kite to be 6 centimeters. And so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to start here, line up my ruler here, and I'm going to move my ruler until I'm going to extend this line just a little bit. And to extend it, just to make sure that it is perpendicular, I'm going to line up these 2 points. I'm going to extend it just a little bit. And I'm going to measure. Again, we always start from the edge of the ruler is considered 0, and then I'm going to measure 6. And there you go. So let's line things up. And that would be 6. All right, so this side is 6 centimeters. I have a couple of things that I can do. Because I know that this side must equal, so I'm going to just make a tick mark. I'm going to use 2 ticks, must equal this side. All I need to do is simply line this up. But before I do that, I just want to see what the angle is. I'm going to call this point J. You can call it anything you choose. And I'm going to measure angle IJF. And I'm going to put, there's the point there. I'm going to put my center of my protractor over the hole. I'm going to make sure that the 0 line matches up. There you go. I match up with this perpendicular line. And I can see that the angle reading from 0, 10, 20, is 25, 26 is about 27 degrees. That angle is 27 degrees. I could measure as well here, but all I need to do really is just join the points up. So I'm going to join H with point J, and I'm always going to, I don't need to measure because I know that automatically, I'm just going to line the points up, that because this side, again, is 2 and approximately, again, we always start at the edge of the ruler, is 2 6/10 of a centimeter, and from here is 2 6/10. If I just line that up, automatically this will be 27 degrees, and you can check it. So there you go. I've constructed my kite with this, one side being 6 centimeters long, one side being 5. We're ignoring this criteria for now. I've got a right angle, and I've got a straight angle right here along that. All right, so that's one way to construct a kite. There are other ways as well. And so tackle this step number 1, and then I'm going to ask you to tackle step number 2. And right now, I'm going to suggest that with step number 2, you can try to, by trial and error, to do this, and perhaps even one of these angles. So do the lengths and then maybe pick one of these angles. Definitely the 90-degree angles will always be there, because this is going to be the center of the kite, and it always will be this line will be perpendicular. This line, or line segment GJ, will always be perpendicular to line segment FH, so it needs to be. All right. So what I would recommend again is this for sure, and then if you would like to expand your ability, perhaps with some trial and error, see if you can make it where one of the angles, this angle or this angle, is 45 or 60 or 30 degrees. All right, so much success, and do feel free to relook at this video. This is, again, just simply one way of constructing a kite.